This evening, Guyana's President, His Excellency Brigadier David Granger, made an impacting delivery at the opening session of the Heads of Mission Conference at the Pegasus Hotel. The Guyana Defense Force has benefited yet again from a huge financial gift from one of its largest suppliers, the People's Republic of China. The Ministers of Foreign Affairs and Citizenship have attempted some degree of damage control regarding the Haitian invasion debacle. After a fight by his lawyer, a prominent gold dealer managed to secure substantial bail in the $900 million fraud case engaging the courts. In the region, residents of a street in Trinidad and Tobago have threatened civil war if the police don't stop targeting them. And internationally, after the deadly explosion on the metro in St. Petersburg, Russia, a second device was found and disabled.
From Safe TV headquarters in South Rival Gardens, this is Safe TV Headline News with Basil Bradshaw.
Headline News is now being streamed live on our YouTube channel as well as our website safetvguyana.com. Join us. President David Granger called on the heads of missions and their delegations to use their diplomacy and strategies for the strengthening of diplomatic ties around the world, as he also reminded them that Guyana's main defense against threats to its territorial integrity and sovereignty is of utmost importance. Andrew Weeks reports that the President was speaking at the opening ceremony of the three-day Heads of Mission Conference at the Pegasus Hotel.
The Prime Minister of Guyana, Vice Presidents, Head of Parliament, the Judiciary, and heads of missions from all over the world attended the opening ceremony of the Heads of Mission Conference on Monday, the first of its kind since the APNUFC government ascended to power in 2015. President Granger reminded them that the state has an obligation to extend its protection to every citizen, and noted that the enormous size and extensive dispersal of citizens and their enthusiastic patriotism are assets to be prized. He also reminded them of the purpose of Guyana's sovereignty.
And the foreign minister will tell you our visits to the Bahamas, where teachers actually wrap themselves with the golden arrowhead to come out to sing the national anthem. Our reception in Barbados and other places we've visited. The protection and projection of Guyana's sovereignty are essential elements of Guyana's diplomacy. Guyana lacks both the economic strength to sanction other states and the military capability to extend its power beyond its borders, and it has no desire to do so. A small state, notwithstanding its limitations, can seek to influence international relations in order to achieve its foreign policy objectives.
Those foreign policies objectives, the President said, are evident in Ghana's involvement in the mission of Haiti, which assisted in its diplomatic process in 1994-1996, Ghana's assistance to Grenada in the aftermath of Hurricane Ivan in 2004, and its continued training of cadets in Belize and other Caribbean defense forces are examples of Ghana's diplomacy. He also underscored the importance of Ghana's membership in the Commonwealth, CARICOM, and other international bodies, which he said have not shied away from supporting Ghana's in its time of need.
The strengthening of the Caribbean community is vital to Guyana's economy and security. Guyana's first Prime Minister, Forbes Burnham, addressing the United Nations General Assembly in September 1966, our independence year, said of Guyana's relations with the Caribbean, and I quote, "We devote every effort to the strengthening of Caribbean unity, the development and maintenance of regional cooperation and integration at all levels, and the building of a strong, viable Caribbean community."
Ghana's territorial threat by Venezuela is of concern to the nation, as he told the heads of mission that Ghana's sovereignty must be protected and that the nation's national interest must come first.
Guyana's Foreign Service, with its exemplary experience of diplomacy, is charged with the pursuit of our national interest at these three levels: at the level of the citizen, at the level of our country, at the level of our community. And this is my charge to this Conference of Heads of Mission.
Foreign Affairs Minister Carl Greenwich also addressed the opening session and gave some insight into the discussions that will take place over the next 5 days.
At the end of the day, our foreign policy is but an extension of our national policy, which must have as its primary aim the overall development of our nation. This being the case, our representatives must understand their role and responsibilities as external actors, as well as the underpinnings of our national development. And that is why we found it appropriate to have this full session this year.
The 5-day conference brings together Guyana's ambassadors, high commissioners, and consulates is being held under the theme Advancing Guyana's Diplomacy in the 21st Century, and will see in-depth discussions on Guyana's foreign policies and national interest. Andrew Weeks, Channel 2, Headline News.
Thank you, Andrew. China's People's Liberation Army is one of the largest suppliers of the Guyana Defense Force. Recently, the Chinese government made available over $1.2 billion Guyana dollars in military aid for the GDF. Much of that aid went towards the purchase of engineering equipment and Coast Guard support vessels. George Gonzalez was at the symbolic handover session and filed this report.
The government, the Defense Board, and the Defense Force are grateful for this equipment and machinery from the government of the People's Republic of China and the People's Liberation Army.
President Granger thanked the Chinese government and the military for their gracious multi-million-dollar gift to the Guyana Defense Force. He also expressed happiness over the positive relations the two nations share.
The vessels will be a welcome addition to the force's riverine fleet. The earth moving, earth clearing, and earth preparation and other equipment will improve the capability of the Engineer Corps. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, we look forward to the continued support of the People's Liberation Army and of the People's Republic of China.
Ambassador Koi Jiang-chun echoes the president's sentiments and expressed a hope that cooperation between the two nations will continue to improve.
Chinese government highly value the relationship between PLA and the GDF and stand ready to further broaden and deepen the exchange and cooperation between our two military forces. For many years, PLA has been providing military aid and training to GDF, which is beneficial to the development of the GDF and the friendship between the two sides. The handover military equipment this time is once again a significant testimonial of the friendly and practical cooperation between PLA and the GDF.
The People's Republic of China has been one of Guyana's strongest allies since the two nations began diplomatic relations 45 years ago. One of the duties of the Guyana Defense Force is to aid the government in the development of the nation, especially its infrastructure. The construction equipment donated will be utilized primarily in the recapitalization of the GDF 4 Engineer Battalion. The battalion, which is to be engaged in several infrastructural development works in the hinterland. President Granger recognizes that solid national infrastructure is key to national security.
National defense is inseparable from national development. Public infrastructure enables and ensures public security by guaranteeing safety for our citizens, by providing assurance to investors and visitors, and by contributing to an enabling environment for investment.
The address was followed by a symbolic key handover and the signing of the handover documents by representatives of the two nations. After that, the President, Minister of Infrastructure David Patterson, and Ambassador Cui were given an official tour by representatives of their respective armies. In all, China's People's Liberation Army donated 13 pieces of equipment, including 2 Coast Guard vessels, fuel and water trucks, air compression tanks, earth movers, and tractors. This has been George Gonzalez for Channel 2 Headline News.
Thanks, George. A prominent gold dealer was today placed in $3 million bail after he was charged with obtaining, under false pretense, the sum of 956 million Guyana dollars from the Guyana Bank for Trade and Industry, the GBTI. 34-year-old Sadiq Rasul, the owner of SSS Mineral Gold Company, pleaded not guilty to the charges when they were read to him in court this morning. SSS Mineral Gold is one of the large gold trading companies in the country. The court was told that on the 21st of March at the GBTI Bartica branch, he presented 3 checks to the bank in the sums of $298 million, $138 million, and $45 million, while on the 22nd, he also presented 3 additional checks in the sums of $290 million, $96 million, and $89 million, claiming that he had the said amount of cash in his Citizens Bank account. After releasing the money, the bank then made checks and found that the defendant had no such cash in his account at Citizens Bank. Usually, banks would have to clarify the availability of the money before honoring checks. Prosecutor Arvin Moore objected to bail and told the court that the bank manager who followed through with the request did not follow normal protocol. He also said 4 persons were paid from the cash collected but are yet to be located. In addition, the prosecutor told the court that if released, the defendant could tamper with the witnesses. Plus, another charge against him of a $5 million fraud is currently being investigated. However, after successful arguments by his attorney, Sandil Kisoon, bail was then granted in the sum of $500,000 for each check that the defendant issued, totaling $3 million for the 6 checks. Rasul will make his next court appearance on the 21st of this month. Coming up on Headline News after the break, the Haitian influx to Guyana that has raised eyebrows has been explained away by 2 ministers of the government. And City Hall gets serious with garbage collection, holds first consultation on the issue.
Sometimes there's just too much information to keep up with when you're pregnant. What you should and should not eat, what kind of exercise is right for you, how to handle mood changes, even how to determine when it's time for delivery.
Don't let your pregnancy be a burden. Watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2 every weekday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now you can know all you need to know from conception to delivery when you watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2.
Now opened, the new thriving Chinese restaurant Providence location. Perfect for large events, exquisite menus featuring traditional Korean, Chinese and Western cuisine, elegant grand dining room and seats for over 500 persons. Also additional seating on the upper flat, luxurious VIP rooms and an elevator for your comfort. The new thriving Chinese restaurant second location above Massey Supermarket, Amazonian Mall, Providence. For reservation call 623-4097 or 657-9067.
Footsteps is about to kick off your Easter with its massive Customer Appreciation Day sale. Yes, for Easter, enjoy wholesale prices at any of Footsteps' 2 locations on Wednesday, 12th April for the entire day. No discount card needed to get great savings. It's Footsteps' massive Customer Appreciation Day on Wednesday, 12th April. Footsteps, bringing it all together.
Let's get it on. Total U Plus is introducing the bridal collection. We sell bridal gowns with over 150 styles to choose from, including bridal gowns for Muslim brides. We also sell bride and bridesmaid gloves, tiaras, petals, flower girl baskets, bridal pins, just married signs for vehicles, guest books and pens, aisle runners, veils, table placement holders, garters. Yes, the complete collection. Come see our bridal display in store. Total U Plus Bridal Collection. Froggity's Mall, booth number 16. Let's get it on.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook. Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
Seems like people will try just about anything to lose weight these days. But nothing works better than proper dieting and exercise. So if you're guilty of eating the wrong foods, not finding time to exercise, or can't afford a gym, join Safe TV Channel 2 for Body and Spirit. Aerobics workout with Dick Nunez.
Hello, I'm Dick Nunez. Welcome to Body and Spirit Aerobics.
Weekday mornings from 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Don't hesitate. Act now, because your greatest wealth is your health.
This place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
Last week, 150 Haitians arrived in Guyana unknowingly to the press and many other government and local agencies, seeking refuge as the country seems to have no way out of its poverty. Andrew Weeks reports that the Minister of Citizenship and the Minister of Foreign Affairs offered clarification on the matter.
Now that the cat is out of the bag on the more than 100 Haitians who came to Guyana last week Thursday on a chartered flight at the Chedijagan International Airport, government ministers are now doing damage control after the media tried to make contact with the relevant agencies and ministries for answers. But the question is, are they really refugees? Minister of Citizenship Winston Felix spoke to the press after the opening ceremony of the Heads of Mission Conference and said,
I can't answer for people who describe them as refugees. They are not refugees. They came with all the required documents and they were admitted into Guyana as visitors. And that's it. I don't know about persons referring to them and on what basis they can refer to them as refugees. In my views, we do not have any refugees from Haiti in Guyana or even arriving in Guyana.
There are reports that some of them subsequently traveled to Suriname, but this could not be confirmed by Minister Felix. When asked if he is concerned about the number of Haitians arriving here, Felix said,
No, it doesn't. If I don't have any refugees, how can it concern me?
But Minister, in the case that they did not come with all the required documentation.
What they did, they came. So I will not be considering that because they came with the documents. So there's no question of considering that they did not come. They came with the required documents. And it's on that basis that they were admitted. Okay? Right, so now let's stray about the place with speculations. let's deal with the fact. The fact is that they arrived, and they arrived with the documentation required.
Minister of Foreign Affairs Carl Gwinnett was asked, how can one label CARICOM nationals entering a member state as refugees? Gwinnett said,
well, refugees are so labeled by the UN. We can't as representatives of the public or individuals suddenly decide that they're refugees. I'm not aware that there are any refugees. But of course, sometimes when the newspapers or the press takes these things up, it takes time to erase it from their minds. Well, such language.
Based on your experience and knowledge, even if those persons had arrived in Ghana without the proper documentation, yes, could we refer to them as refugees?
No, there is a process by which groups are designated refugees, okay, and an individual country cannot, of its own volition, just decide they're refugees. Okay.
So the doubts have been cleared up. They arrived here as tourists to Guyana. The 7.0 magnitude earthquake that hit Haiti on January 12, 2010, killed more than 200,000 people, leveled much of the capital, Port-au-Prince, and left 1.5 million Haitians homeless. The path to recovery and long-term development seemed impossible. Many Haitians continue to face multiple challenges, including displacement, food insecurity, and lack of access to clean water and sanitation. Haiti's new president, Jovenel Moïse, took office in early February, and it is hoped that with his leadership, things will turn around. Andrew Weeks, Channel 2, Headline News.
Thanks again, Andrew. A poll was conducted earlier this month by pollster Dr. Vishnu Besram for the reputable North American Caribbean Teachers Association. The poll consisted of 402 respondents, reflecting the diversity of the nation's demographic composition: 43% Indian, 31% African, 16% mixed, 9% Amerindian, and others 1% of the population. Asked if they support the 2-to-1 majority ruling of Chancellor Carl Singh's appeal court upholding the judgment of the now retired Chief Justice Ian Chang that presidential term limit is unconstitutional without a referendum, 58% said yes, 30% said no, and others did not offer a response. Respondents are divided largely along party and racial affiliation in their answers. The overwhelming majority, 73% of respondents, feel there is need for a new constitution, one approved by the population in a free and fair referendum to limit the powers of the executive and empower the population. Asked if they feel the next general election will be free and fair, 60% said no, with 31% saying yes, and the others not offering an opinion. Some voters do not feel that the dominant PNC in the government coalition would allow a free and fair election. City Hall hosted its first consultation on garbage collection as the city is now financially challenged to meet the demands. Andrew Weeks tells us that City Mayor Patricia Chase Green said businesses and citizens are now called to play their part.
Costing City Hall $1 million a week to collect garbage throughout the city. Now the Mayor and City Council meeting with citizens to come up with the best possible option to deal with the issue as council is cash-strapped for funds. Mayor Green explains.
Because our garbage collection is one of our biggest problems in the city of Georgetown. We have managed so far to keep it at a certain level. But what we have found is that we really would not be able to maintain the standard that we're having presently, because we owe our garbage contractors a large sum of money since last year, and to have them continue with the same pace, we would not be able to manage.
The two major garbage collectors are Puran Brothers Disposal Inc. and Siphons Waste Management. These two companies are owed millions of dollars by City Hall. A number of business owners around the horseshoe table made contributions as to how they intend to help City Hall deal with garbage collection. Here is one businesswoman's suggestion.
So I'm looking forward. My suggestion is, I'm going to reiterate something that you said with the city malls and the great buildings that are going up. The suggestion for that, the person who doesn't have a garbage disposal receptacle, why when they send a plan into the council seeking permission to construct this building, you enforce that they have, it should be mandated or should be stationed that they have that facility before they construct that building. Harsher penalties should be inflicted on those who have been evasive. For example, I am a business owner, but I don't have a property as yet. But still, there's so much lawlessness. It's do what you want. I think harsher and stricter penalties, if the law permits, if the business has to be.
Mayor Chase Green explained the harsh realities being faced in its collections of taxes. Listen.
I'll give you an analysis. Say, for instance, a business space is paying $12,000 per year taxes. That's flat taxes. With that $12,000, we were expected to pick up the commercial waste twice a day. We were also expected to provide proper roads, street lights, proper drainage. We really can't do it. $12,000 a year is $1,000 a month for those services, which works like $33 per day. What can you buy in the city of Georgia for $33? Well, we have to provide all of these services. So according to the law, and we're looking at other revenue bases, and we're looking at that as well. We're also still in discussion with the Private Sector Commission to deal with the container fee.
The majority of business owners around the horseshoe table pleaded with the council to go after taxes of those business owners who continue to withhold their taxes. The mayor said there will be a final decision when the consultations are over, but there have been some suggestions. Listen.
There was a suggestion from somebody that you charge the business people $100 for a barrel, and like the big malls and so maybe you look at charging them $1,000 or more depending on what it is. And they've also proposed to us that in the future, that when these big malls are going up, they must have provided somewhere on site one big garbage receptacle for all the stores that they will have in the mall.
Right.
And they must also have a ground floor for parking, which takes the parking off of our busy streets and providing parking for the staff. And the city cannot do it all alone. One business person had said to me that they had 100 staff with 100 vehicles. Now, am I expected to find that free cost every day for you? But we're looking at it all and we're moving forward.
Andrew Weeks, Channel 2, Headline News.
You're welcome, Andrew. Still ahead, will the government heed the warning by some residents of Trinidad and Tobago and prevent civil war? And quick work by the police in Russia averted another deadly explosion like the one aboard the metro.
Sometimes there's just too much information to keep up with when you're pregnant. What you should and should not eat, what kind of exercise is right for you, how to handle mood changes, even how to determine when it's time for delivery.
Don't let your pregnancy be a burden. Watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2 every weekday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Now you can know all you need to know from conception to delivery when you watch The Baby Story on Safe TV Channel 2.
Need a ride around town and beyond? Look no further than Oasis Ride Taxi Service. With affordable prices and some of the best drivers in the business, we've been delivering prompt and reliable service to Guyana for over 16 years. We also offer tours, chauffeur service, and even car rentals. You can call us at 231-5554 or 225-5496. For deals, specials, and more information, find our page on Facebook. Oasis Ride Taxi Service. Let's go.
Footsteps is about to kick off your Easter with its massive Customer Appreciation Day sale. Yes, for Easter, enjoy wholesale prices at any of Footsteps' 2 locations on Wednesday, 12th April for the entire day. No discount card needed to get great savings. It's Footsteps' massive Customer Appreciation Day on Wednesday, footsteps, bringing it all together.
Seems like people will try just about anything to lose weight these days. But nothing works better than proper dieting and exercise. So if you're guilty of eating the wrong foods, not finding time to exercise, or can't afford a gym, join Safe TV Channel 2 for Body and Spirit. Aerobics workout with Dick Nunez.
Hello, I'm Dick Nunez. Welcome to Body and Spirit Aerobics.
Weekday mornings from 7 a.m. to 7:30 a.m. Don't hesitate. Act now, because your greatest wealth is your health.
Now opened, the new thriving Chinese restaurant Providence location. Perfect for large events, exquisite menus featuring traditional Korean, Chinese and Western cuisine, elegant grand dining room and seats for over 500 persons. Also additional seating on the upper flat, luxurious VIP rooms and an elevator for your comfort. The new thriving Chinese restaurant second location above Massey Supermarket, Amazonian Mall, Providence. For reservation call 623-4097 or 657-9067.
Place is really hot. What's wrong with your AC?
It's not working.
Well, we wouldn't be able to continue this meeting anymore because this place is extremely hot.
Wait, please don't go.
Here's a company you can call to get your AC fixed. Action Cool.
Honey, what's dinner? I had a hard day.
I'm sorry you had a hard day, but guess what, babes? I didn't cook today because the stove is not working.
Having trouble at home or at the office? Then call the professionals at Action Cool. Our fully trained technical team have the skills and experience in repairs of all air-conditioned units, refrigerators, gas stoves, washing machines, and a whole lot more. For further information, visit us at 86 Hill and Princess Street, Mandela Avenue, Georgetown, or call us on telephone number 225-7867.
In news from the region now, Nelson Street residents are crying out in the Twin Island Republic of Trinidad and Tobago that they have become a target by the National Police and are calling on the government to handle the situation before civil war breaks out. CNews' Ian Wason reports.
Nelson Street residents say the police are targeting them, even to the point of abuse. Speaking to CNews off camera, one grandmother told the CNews at one time, when the police had arrested a grandson, she encountered hostile officers at the station.
This Sunday now, with the bacchanal when they hold my grandson, I went down to the station, right? I was there, and I started vomiting. When I started vomiting now, a police officer came out to me and telling me, you. I said, arrest you. I said, but what I do? He see me assaulted. I said, no, I did not assault the police officer. Put on yan. Don't talk to me so. Oh, he would slap me, the street woman like man. He would slap me and pelt me in the jeep.
She questioned the motive of their behavior as she alleged one of the officers made a statement that raised questions.
They don't like us. They just torture us. And like if they go in somebody's place and they're coming out, Rasta forever. And one of the police officers told me we have no rights.
The grandmother wants the National Security Minister to work in the community the same way he did in Enterprise on Friday. She also wants to talk with the head of the Port of Spain Division, Flourish Hodge Griffith. We contacted Senior Superintendent Hodge Griffith. She dismissed reports the police are biased and maintained they have their job to do to make the country safe. Ian Wason, CNews.
And internationally, Russian officials say a second explosive device was found and disabled after an explosion on the metro killed at least 11 people and wounded dozens more in St. Petersburg. France 24 speaks to Associate Professor Oleg Kopzev about who may be responsible for today's attack in St. Petersburg.
Well, indeed, I can concur with your correspondent in Moscow, Thomas Lowe. A second bomb has been found, so this definitely confirms what everyone suspected already. Who could it be? In Russia, it could be anyone, because Russia has many enemies. This could be a old-fashioned Chechen attack. this could be also something linked with Syria. It could be Daesh or other groups that Russia is fighting. Or this could be linked also to the Ukraine. There are extremist groups in the Ukraine. Extreme violence has already been committed in the Ukraine. This could be a spillover effect in Russia. But there's another problem that arises. Already there is discussion that the Russians could have done this to themselves because there had been accusations a long time ago when there were alleged Chechen attacks in Moscow that this is how Putin rose to power. But then a lot of Russians are already saying, it's all over the Russian television, if ever we find someone, some extremists, they're not mentioning Ukrainians or groups in Syria. There's only, but the allusions are quite strong. We are going to be accused of doing it to ourselves, so that then we could be accused of provocation. So it's going to be extremely complicated and multi-layered, as always is in Russia. Also, what also confirms that this is a terrorist attack, this has been planned, is that not only is Putin in St. Petersburg at the moment, meeting at this very moment President Lukashenko of Belarus, but there was an important international forum today in St. Petersburg. So obviously this was newsworthy for whoever exploded the bomb.
No coincidence then, in your opinion, that this happened while President Putin was in town. I just want to ask you a little bit more about Syria. You talked about Daesh. That, of course, is another name for the Islamic State group. To what degree has Russia's military involvement in Syria made it more vulnerable to attacks?
Vulnerable, of course, by as anyone that has ever been involved in the Middle East and conflicts. What will make it complicated for Russia would be if these were groups that have Western sympathies, if not even support. That will make things extremely complicated. If it's simply the Islamic State, then it will rather unify Russians and those who are fighting the Islamic State. But if it's someone else closer to the Western powers, then that could create a serious problem. Okay. And maybe that this would be the intention of the terrorists.
And that's Channel 2's headline news for this Monday evening. As we take our leave, we invite you to find Channel 2 headline news on Facebook, YouTube, and safetvguyana.com. You can also tune in at 6:30 tomorrow morning for a rebroadcast. Until then, I'm Basil Bradshaw, signing out from this newscast.